had all kinds of knuckleheads coming through our house and everything, and never complained or anything like that. And so
Well, here's a
shout
question.
out to
I have.
you.
I got a question. Hold on. I got a question.
Okay.
So back when y'all cutting in the basement, did y'all have the bootleggers in the basement then too? The bros come through with the fake shoes and everything like they do now.
Not back then. It was more. It was more so they were stealing.
Are you ready?
Hey there, and welcome to Get Off the Bench, where we talk success, business, life, and how you can make your dreams into reality. Your coach is an international speaker, published author, business, and speaking coach, known to his audiences as the Speaker Man. His dream is to move you from the bench to the starting lineup of life.
And here we are again. 47-yard try, his longest attempt of the game. He has just clicked.
Your man, this is your Kodak moment.
Hey, did you hear that? The game is about to start, and you need to get ready to get in the game.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Here's your coach, Mark Wiggins.
Hey everybody, it's me, Mark Wiggins. Welcome to Off the Bench. I am your host, Mark Wiggins, and today we have on some special guests here on the podcast. And the topic today is men's hair care. And the source of the discussion will be kind of interesting because I have, I guess you'd call them a pair of brothers or two brothers. I guess you could have more than one brother. But there's a pair of brothers on the phone from the DMV, and they have created some products. And as you all know, I don't do bios, but I'm also interested in hearing what people have to say. So I'm going to have one of the brothers jump on first, tell everybody who you are, what you're into, and then the other brother can jump on. So go ahead.
Okay, I'm the better looking brother, Garrick Dixon. I'm a barber. I've been a barber for 30 years. I also act and do comedy. I'm out in California. My other brother, he'll introduce himself. He's in the DMV. So I've been cutting for a long time and making people laugh for a long time and having fun with life. So, yeah, that's what I do. And we decided to create a brand called Dixon's after our name, and it's pretty hot right now, and we're doing good for ourselves. And we're able to talk to people like you because we're doing good.
Awesome. All right, go ahead, brother number two.
Yeah, I'm Cedric. I'm the not so good looking brother, so I'm the one that does more the behind the scenes stuff. You know, G is kind of the face of the product. I do more so behind the scenes and the numbers. Like G said, we are from the Upper Marlboro, Maryland area, Mitchellville area. I currently live in Bowie, representing the DMV.
Nice. First of all, thank you guys for coming on, and especially you, G, for being out on the left coast. Did you have to work last night? Do you have any sets you were performing last night?
No, I was just drinking a lot of alcohol, and so you know,
Right.
yeah,
Understood that.
So props to you for getting up this early, then, man.
Yeah,
You know what? That's dedication. When you're talking about, see, people don't
Right.
understand the hustle. You got to be able to balance your life. You got to be able to get toe up and then get up and go to work. That's how this works.
Yeah. I mean, it's even more dedication because I had to kick the hooker out, and she didn't want to leave. I had to kick her out without paying her. But
Sometimes bad customer
if you hear
service.
if you hear some yelling in the background, that means she came back for her money. So.
She didn't have Cash App. Anyway,
Right.
listen, I've been to a couple clubs. They got Cash App. Look, I'm on Cash App you with this phone. It's not going to work. Anyway,
Right.
Listen, so serious talk. So let's talk about you all. And I went to your website, checked your page, and read some more about you. I'm always fascinated by the kids in the neighborhood who decided to become barbers and took everybody else's money. So what led you to start cutting hair and doing the barbershop in the basement?
But it's funny. It's actually because my older brother, my brother, he was cutting his hair, and at the time he was 16 and I was 12.
Yeah.
So the younger brother wants to do what the older brother does or whatever, and so he was cutting his hair. So I decided to pick up a pair of clippers and cut my own hair, not knowing that was going to change my life. So I just started cutting my hair, and as he did, I cut myself a bowl cut. It was messed up. But I thought if I had the perfect bowl, it was a fade, back then.
Oh, yeah.
And then one day, I I discovered, I just said, hey man, let me adjust the lever, on the side of the clippers. Let me move this. And I adjusted it. Then I noticed it took more off, and I was like, okay, so you mean I can fade it? So I just started like playing with it, fading it. And back then, I thought it was a decent fade. And then, when you're 12 years old, you go outside with your friends, you're like, y'all cut hair now after you cut your hair. So then next thing you know, they were my dummies, and they let me cut their hair. And I'm the kid in the neighborhood starting off with, two or three clientele. And then next thing you know, it just expanded. And this is when I was in 8th grade. And then it expanded until an empire by the time I was like in 11th grade. I was pretty much cutting everybody in high school. So,
now, Cedric, how did you feel about your brother cutting your hair back then?
No, it's funny you say that because he left out a key part of that story. So, he was like 12, 13 years old, like you said, he was cutting. He was doing all right. So he was like, yo, C, can I cut your hair? And I was like, I don't know, because like he said, I cut my own hair. He was like, come on, man, I'm pretty good. I'm like, yeah, you all right, but I don't know if I want you really touching my hair. So I let him cut my hair. And back then, he'll tell you, I had the Big Daddy Kane high top fade.
Oh, no, not
with
the fade.
curved part. Yeah, with the curved part. So he cut my hair, right? And it was all right. He did an all right job. But then he was like, all right, let me do your part. And I was like, all right. So he did my part, man, and that joint, it was probably about the width of the ruler. It was the fattest part I've ever seen in my life. And mind you, I'm in like 10th, 11th grade. I think I was in 11th grade because I was at Largo. I'm in the 11th grade, and I got to go to school with this thick part in my head. You talk about getting joned on. And I don't know if he's ever cut my hair since then. I just do my own hair.
Nice.
But,
he's
crazy.
pretty good, though. He's good.
Now, back then, back then you used one clipper. Like I had one clipper, so it was like nowadays, you got shape up clippers and all that stuff. But my one clipper was everything. It was for parts. It was to shape up, all that stuff. And I remember they used to get so hot that I would have to put them in the freezer for like 5 minutes. Because I was cutting so many people's hair. I had to put them in the freezer for like 5 minutes. And then I didn't know anything. Right now we use like Cool Lube when they get hot or whatever. But yeah, so I was a basement barber.
Oh, that's what's up.
He and shout outs to him. He was good too. And shout outs to my parents who allowed him to cut hair in the basement, bought him a barber chair, had all kinds of knuckleheads coming through our house and everything, and never complained or anything like that. So,
well, here's a question. I got a question. Hold on. I got a question.
Okay.
So back when y'all were cutting in the basement, did y'all have the bootleggers in the basement then too? The bros come through with the fake shoes and everything like they do now?
Not back then. It was more so they were stealing. Like I used to, man. Like I remember I had a dude. It was a dude named David. He was a thug back then. I was cutting one dude's hair, and he had his hat on the counter. And I remember David in front of him you wouldn't expect it, just stole his hat. He was leaving, just picked up his hat and walked out. And I remember they were laughing when they walked out, and I was wondering why. And then when I finished cutting the guy's hair, he was like, yo, just look for his hat, like, where'd my hat go? I was like, oh, man, David stole it. But since David was a thug, he didn't even approach him in school the next day. He was like, you know what? I just lost that hat.
I just lost that. Give me another one. Nah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Take that L, basically.
So fast forward now, you don't cut everybody's head in the area through high school, and you end up going out to the West Coast. Gee, how did you end up getting to the West Coast?
I just, because I was doing comedy at home. I was working in corporate America, and I was doing comedy. Mm-hmm. And I remember one day I was in my office. I was 27 at the time. I was in my office, and I was just like, yo, man, I'm doing good, making good money, but I'm not living my dream, and I was like, I was young, and I said, man, before I get married and have kids and all that stuff and everything, I was like, yo, let me just bounce. Let me go to the West Coast. Let me save up some money and bounce and live my dream. And, I gave up everything. Like I said, it was making real good money. Some people was like, man, what you doing? You're a fool. Man, don't move out there. And I was like, man, I believe in myself, bro. So I'm good. So I've been out here since 2002. 2002. And haven't regretted it at all.
Right, and you went out with a skill set, right? You went out with something that's you could take that with you, as long as you had a place to put them clippers in your bag and one of them fancy aprons. You could cut some hair wherever.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew. I was like, because the first couple of months I didn't work because I just loved, I just said I want to come out here and discover, have fun in LA and having fun, then going out partying every night, drinking. And when I say party, I'm not talking about drugs, because white people, they call partying doing cocaine.
Right.
And I didn't know that until I got out here.
So
They're like, hey, man,
we're working with the urban definition of partying, right? Not the
yeah, right.
the urban definition. All right, cool.
Yeah, you out here in 2002, your white people, hey, do you party? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I party. They whip out cocaine. I'm like, not that type of party. And then, so yeah, I moved out here, and I was like you said, I knew I had a skill set, and I was, doing jokes and all that stuff. And then when my money started getting low, I was like, all right, let me find a barbershop. First barbershop I went into, I got the job.
Mm-hmm.
And they love me because back east we can cut better than California cuts. So I was like the hot man on campus.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Now, Cedric, what were you doing during this time when G left and went out to the West Coast? What were you into at this point?
He was somewhere masturbating.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well, in between masturbating, I managed to be in corporate America. So I was doing the corporate America job that G left actually, and I'm still in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
So,
nice.
So I've just always been a 9 to 5 type of person.
Nice. Now, though, so moving forward a little bit, so this is definitely interesting. I love to hear this piece. So now let's move into what you're doing now. How did you decide to take some salve and put it in a jar and put your label on it and talk about we got the best hair care product for everybody in the world? How did that come about?
Okay. I'm not even going to take credit for it. I mean, I actually, I was, because I have a big YouTube following.
Mm-hmm.
So if YouTube, Garrick, Dixon, we'll talk about that later. But
sure, go ahead.
I have a big YouTube following because of my funny barbershop videos. We do funny barbershop videos. They get a whole lot of hits. And so I remember one day, one of my subscribers had sent me a DM, and he was like, man, I love watching your videos. I don't know I have a question for you. I don't know how to get my hair cut. And I was wondering if you could recommend a style for me to rock. And I was like, that's a good question. So I put on video. I was like, hey guys, dude, if you don't know how to get your hair cut, hit me up and I'll send me 2 or 3 pictures of yourself and with your shirt on. And I'll send you a picture of how you should get your hair cut. I send it to you back to you. So that day that I posted that, I got 48 emails from different guys talking about how they should get their haircut. I mean, wonder how they should get the haircut. And I sent them pictures back. So anyway, moving forward, I go into the barbershop. It was a good businessman by the name of Dog Man that comes to my shop. And I was telling him, I was like, yo, man, I got all these messages from guys wanting to know how to get their haircut. How can I make money off of this? He was like, all right, well, you could charge them 99 cents a piece. I said, no, I want to keep it authentic. And he was like, yo, you want to know, that's good. He said, you want to know how you can make real money? Develop a product. Develop a hair grooming product. People always come back to, get hair products. And I actually listened to him. And like to this day, he's so proud because he's like, bro, I give people advice all the time, but you actually listen. Mm-hmm. And once he told me that, I was like, yo, that is a good idea. And from that point, that was in September last year, I've been, working on it. And then, I talked to my brother. He helped me out. And then June 4th, we released the product.
It is all interesting how it's just like the smallest of, not a throwaway statement. Like the brother said, he's been telling everybody what to do, just some beads of wisdom, but only a few people actually pick them up and run with it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just that small interaction. You see this brother all the time, I'm assuming, talk to him. You see him work other magic, and you ask the question. You just ask the question, and he goes, do this. And it resonated with you, and you ran with it. That's crazy. Yeah, most people don't do that.
Yeah, and can I say this real quick, too? To G's credit, too, even from the beginning, this has always been kind of like his baby. He's always been so passionate about it. Mm-hmm. And so that's why, even from my perspective, when he first told me about it, you can hear the passion in his voice. And so it was kind of, easy to kind of jump on board with all of this because this is him. He's done a good job of being able to mix like a lot of his talents together. He's a funny dude. He's a barber. He's an entrepreneur, and he's been able to mix all of that stuff together, whether it's the funny barbershop videos or whether it's something like this. So kudos to him.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you're talking to people about passion. I talk to a lot of folks about getting off the bench. That's what my thing is, right? It is when you hear that octave, when they hit that spot about their business, about their dream, about their vision, that they're serious. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna speak. About what? Well, I'm just trying to. You ask me about speaking, dude. It's gonna be a whole another conversation. Yeah, I'm into it because it's my passion.
Exactly.
And if you don't have that, it's going to be hard to pursue because of the grind that comes with this thing. It just the product just did not show up on the shelf. I'm sure you went through a whole battery of stuff you had to get done to get it to this level, and the commitment to it is only because of your passion.
Right. Yeah. With G and I are constantly talking about this, man, and he's out on the West Coast, so he's texting me like 3:00 in the morning my time with ideas and all the suggestions and recommendations. I mean, he's very, very passionate about this.
Yeah,
definitely. G, let's talk about some of the struggles, and this is part of the get off the bench moment, because it's when things hit, it's real easy to say, "No, coach, don't put me in the game. I'll be right here. We down 15." You know what I'm saying? What were some of the struggles that you guys faced that you had to overcome, like even to the point where you thought you may quit this thing?
Well, I mean, honestly, we're so new that we haven't thought about quitting yet. I mean, right now, but I mean, there's struggles. It's always going to be struggles. Right now, we're struggling with, we have to reorder product, and we're dealing with a timeline issue from our vendor. So, that's like a struggle right now. But I mean, it's like I was telling the hooker the other night. I was like, no, I'm playing, but I was actually talking to my girl. Yeah, I was like, I told her.
That's not a good segue right there to go from hooker to I was actually talking to my girl. That's not a good segue.
I was taking notes.
Not a good
really?
transition right there, man.
I stopped taking notes. Really? You say you talk to your hookers? But anyway, go ahead.
Look, I know I can't have her listen to this, but now I'm playing. But I said, I was like, there's always going to be struggles. Like, put it this way, you're always going to get bigger problems. That's life. You just inherit bigger problems. And one thing I told her, we were laying in bed, and I said, I'm over here, I'm kind of upset about this vendor issue, but this is actually the best part, because this is the beginning. This is what's coming up right now. And I said, we in business, like I know that I'm always going to be stressed, and I'm willing to take that on, because I've decided to go ahead and start something. And the issue that I'm dealing with now, in the future, they're going to be bigger problems with, like, damn, Alabama won't carry Dixon's because they say it's not enough such and such. So that'll be bigger problems. So, when anybody's starting on something or thinking about, being an entrepreneur, just know that there are always going to be problems, because you're willing to do something that a lot of people ain't going to do. And if it was that easy, like I said, everybody would be doing it. So it's just, that's our biggest problem right now, is just this whole issue with our reorders. But it's actually kind of a good problem to have, because we've only been out a month and a half, and we've already had to reorder already, because we have because we're moving the product.
That's a great problem. A lot of people tell you that's a great problem to have. If getting in, you'll fix the timelines, you'll fix the vendors, you'll change vendors, you'll change manufacturers, you'll find that sweet spot. But my bottom line is you're building your brand, and I think that's the cool part.
Yeah.
And I would say too, for a new entrepreneur, also recognize that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So it takes a while, and that's one of the things that G and I have talked about a lot, that it's going to be a process. This doesn't happen overnight. And he said something that I tell my kids all the time. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Right. So you just got to understand that it's a process. You're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your ebb and flows. It's just, as long as you stick in it for the long run, and then you'll be successful.
What was the timeline from conception to product delivery? How long?
Okay, so just think. Okay, so we started September. So the idea started in September, and we actually got the product on June 2nd. So so that's how many months is that?
About 9 months.
It's about 6 weeks. About 9 months. It's about 6 weeks, right? Yeah. About 6 hours and 47 minutes, but no one's counting.
Right.
That's quick to market. That's very quick to market. Which means that you had this stuff thought out. Like I said, you just didn't wake up with this idea. You've been brewing on it since that seed was planted. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. It's to the point where, I don't even do comedy as much, because like this is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a comic, you got to work 4 or 5 nights a week, come up with your routine, listen to your routine, hone it, and all that stuff. And I was like, with this, I consider this a family brand, a legacy, a game changer. So with that energy that I put on stage, that I was putting on stage, I'm putting into this product.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely life changing. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's kind of what I was talking about earlier about him being so passionate about it.
Yep.
Because it's his passion, he's spending like 24/7 on this, and that's why. I mean, because an overall theme, the way you look at it, it is a quick turnaround considering. But part of that is because he he drinks, sleeps this. He's spending so much time on this that has a lot to do with the quicker than normal turnaround. Because when he first had the idea, he called me up. And things have changed. He'll tell you when he first had the idea, it was like about 10 products, 8 to 10 products you come out with.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot. And then after conversation, after talking to people and everything, we scaled it down. But it's been 24/7 for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I got 26 products. Okay, we're gonna start with these 3. Okay, hold on to them ideas.
Exactly.
Hold on to them ideas.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with these 3.
Right. Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
And like you said, and at the beginning, I was going to name the product Dr. Fades. Now, looking back at it, that just sounds so corny and whack. Like, I would have been in every hood place. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Fade. But then one of my friends was like, hey, name it Dixon. The name is powerful, and you'll also be more committed to it. And it was like, that makes sense.
Mm.
And when I told my brother, he actually came up with a brilliant idea. My brother, my father, and I, we took a picture. And he was like, yo, why don't we use that picture as the logo? Mm-hmm. And that picture that we took, coming out of breakfast is now our logo. We didn't even know it. And it's like, to me, everything just intertwines. It's all God's plan. God knew how this was going to happen. And he's just making it happen.
Right.
So,
That's dope. Now you obviously, since you said you created this in September, were not established in 1737. So what is it? Is it 1737? What is that significance?
17. That's where we grew up on 1737 Albert Drive in Mitchellville, Maryland. So 1737 is the house that we grew up on. So it was like we're taking it back to the basics, back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. So where I was first started cutting hair and becoming who I am, we're paying homage to that.
That's hot.
So it's we're going back to the basics. 1737 Albert Drive.
That's it. So as we move on into the program, tell us about the next steps for your brand. Not necessarily the event coming up or events coming up, but what are you planning to scale up? What's going on with that?
Right now we're going to continue to sell our Miracle Oil, 1737 Miracle Oil, and our leave-in conditioner, and we also have brush and comb kits. But we're going to continue to do that for a minute, and then next thing you know, we'll release the next product. I'm not going to tell you what the next product is because it's going to hit the market, but we'll release another product in probably about 3 to 4 months. We'll release something else, and then we'll release 1 or 2 products, and we'll just keep growing from there. And we'll continue to be in more barbershops, more beauty salons, and next thing you know, we'll become a household name.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was at for my bills paying job that supports it's my funding source for my passion. I was at the Atlanta Gift Mart last week, and the Gift Mart, the International Gift Mart, has everything you want from nuts to bolts as it pertains to fashion, gift giving industry, bath and beauty. As you know, is a quadrillion-dollar industry. And every corner, every store, everything we stopped on, there were men's hair care products. And I couldn't help but think about you all from the conversation we had previous. Like, these brothers are going to have to get to this floor because this S right here, I don't know what y'all got, but I'm already like proud of y'all. Look at this mess. Look at this, man. This ain't Dixon's. I ain't tried damn product, but I figured your stuff is better than theirs. Even if it's not, it needs to be in a place where people are looking for products because we, in our shop alone, we probably 4 or 5 different lines of men's care, from Duke Cannon to the B one. What is it called? The yellow one. I see it right now. anyway, there's all kinds of stuff we bring in, and it's a hot emerging market. So I was like, these brothers have to get to the gift mart just to show their brand into market, because you come one year, they got a table. You come back here, they got 5 tables. Next year, they have a big showroom, and then next thing you know, they're on that's what happens at this place. And all I
Right.
can think about was you all that y'all got to get to these shows at one point. I'm telling you, it would be great exposure to get the brand out there. So I'm sure that's part of your marketing plan to get to the big shows when you're ready, but I'm not going to be surprised when I see you in Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing, kind of moving forward, we'll be at there's a barber convention in DC. It's called the DC Barber Expo, and that's October 16th. And we'll be at the DC Barber Expo with our products, Dixon's products. So if anybody's listening and you want to come, it's at Echo Lounge. Yeah, I believe Echo is right beside that strip club stadium.
Oh, the Echo Stage. The Echo Stage. Yeah.
Echo Stage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a lot of your listeners probably know the strip club stadium. So if they go right next door.
You says October what?
October 16th.
It's a Wednesday. They got steaks and a half. I mean, I don't know how I know this, but there's like discounts on Wednesday night at stadium. But go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay. I heard
Happy hours lit up at stadium, so they tell me.
But I heard
I've never heard of stadium. Just for the record, man, I've never heard of that place before in my life.
Lies.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
But look, the funny thing is, I know it's a strip club, but I heard the food is good.
Yeah.
Somebody told me they had the best buffalo wings in town, and I'm like, wow.
That is actually a true statement. That is actually a true. I'll let you know. According to Yelp and reports, they have the.
Yeah, you said according to Yelp.
If you look it up, it says Stadium Club, the best strippers and wings. I mean, and right there.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, if y'all come to town, I'd love to hook up and come check that out. That should be a hot look. Since it's the middle of the week, I should be in town. But yeah. That's it. Cool. So we're writing this down. Go ahead and drop all your social media, where they can find you, your comic stuff, your website, your YouTube. Go ahead and drop all the information here right now.
All right, man. So y'all can follow me. You can follow me on Instagram, Garrick Dixon, GarrickDixon. So you can follow me, Garrick Dixon, on Instagram, on YouTube, and you can watch the funny barbershop videos. But most importantly, you can follow our brand at Dixon Man, the Dixon Man, the Dixon Man on Instagram, not Dix on Man, but Dixon Man. Somebody told me, hey, you need to slow it down. They told me slow it down when you drop it on Instagram. So you can follow the Dixon Man on Instagram. You can look at our website. The website is the same thing, the Dixon Man, and we have all our products on there. You can look at pictures of me looking good. So oh
boy,
that's where you can see it.
Oh, nice. Yep. All right, so I got the last question. I'm gonna ask both of you this question. You have to answer separately. So Cedric, we're gonna ask you first this question.
All
right, I want to know, my audience wants to know, what do you do daily to stay in the starting lineup of life?
What do I do daily to stay in the starting lineup of life?
Yep.
Wow, that's a tough question, especially to end it on that.
That's what I do here.
So I have to ask a super question. When you say stay in the starting lineup of life, like, you got to be a little bit more specific as far as what you're talking about in that regard.
Fair question. All right, so my whole show is about athletically themed. So when I say starting lineup, I mean you in the game, like you balling. So in order to get to the game, there's preparation work, right? You just don't show up to the game. You have to be ready to do. And once you're in the game, there's things you do to stay in the game, working on that kind of stuff. So I'm asking you, as it pertains to life, what do you do to stay on top of your game every single day?
Okay. That's a tough question. For one, I read a lot. I read a lot. I watch a lot of videos. So I'm really into kind of like what's happening in our society and all the things that are going on in our society, especially in regards to, I don't want to get too political, but in regards to this dude that we got in the office. So I'm really kind of like, that's kind of one of my passions, the things that are going on in this world, the injustices that are going on in this world. So I'm really into that. So I'm reading, I'm studying, I'm watching videos. I'm a real big fan of like people like D.L. Hughley, who are, comedians, but also have that political side of them, where they're telling you about what's going on. So I follow a lot of that stuff. And again, as I was saying earlier, I got a regular 9 to 5. So from a financial basis, that's how I continue to survive. I work out. But yeah, it's really just kind of like I read a lot and I study a lot because there's a lot of things that are going on in this society that we need to. I'll just say this: as African Americans, we really need to be careful because we're at a crossroad right now where we're going to go one or two ways. We're going to continue to go down this path with this person we have in office, or we need to change this around and go back down the path we were going down in previous years. I'll just put it like that. I know it's not a political show, so I don't really want to get too much into that.
All right, I appreciate that.
But I can if you want me to.
We can come back on and talk about that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We talking about your hair care products today, but we can come back and talk about all that. All right, G, you're up. Same question.
Oh, well, I look at my goals. Like, I'm a goal-oriented person. So first thing I do when I wake up, I say a prayer, and then I write down everything. I'm still old school. I have an organizer, and, I write it down. I don't use apps, organizer apps. So first thing, when I get up in the morning, I pray, and then I look at my goals and see what I need to do for the day. Like, I know what I have to do every day. And, a lot of people just go in life and are just winging it or just doing whatever. But to me, like, I'm real organized because I think that when you know exactly why you're here and exactly what you're supposed to do in a day, it makes your day better. So when I get up, I'm looking at my goals of what I need to do. And at the end of the night, I'll complete them and I feel better about myself. So for me, staying in the game is just completing my goals that I set for myself every day. I mean, every single day. Like I've had this interview on my goal, like get up, do the interview with Mark. And, later on, get my daughters, going over my friend's house, going to see the movies. Like, my day is always planned out. And like I said, I know at the end of the day, before I go to sleep, when I do my checklist, I'm like, it was a good day. And I achieved everything that I wanted to do today.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. And I love hearing the entrepreneur and person I interview talk about their daily rituals or struggles, because in the world of motivation where I dwell, we talk about this because everybody wants to hear something, and your answer works for you, but there's a modification point in there that may resonate with someone else and go, you know what, I really don't check mine every day. I hear him, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Or I really don't think about reading more. And every entrepreneur I've talked to mentions a couple of things. Prayer, reading, and setting goals. Those are kind of the three things that you hear, because it's going to take all of those to get where you want to go. And we fluctuate in and out of following up, but at the end of the day, your core says, I got to get back to the thing I know to do to get where I want to go. And I want to make sure that people are motivated and to hear your story and they're inspired, because as you know, as a comic, somebody's coming to you and say, oh my God, I want to do this and I don't know where to start. And I've been, that whole thing. And now people are coming to you, oh my God, I've been wanting to do hair or bath and beauty. How do I start? And they're going to want to know these things, and I take it for granted because I've been doing it for so long as a speaker. I'm like, oh man, I just do my. Okay, hold me back this down. Here's what I really do. Here, since you ask, this is what I do. Exactly. Cedric, you said this G about recording yourself and listening to. I'll go back and listen to this recording, and I'll probably cut my eyes out. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Because I'm trying to get better, and it's always about that drive, so I can produce and deliver and stay in the starting lineup of life. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked the question, because I want people to hear your essence about what you do and how you do it and how you're going to keep doing it. So I appreciate that.
And the funny thing, like you said, we're always thinking, and that's the good thing that you record your stuff, because, and I do the same thing, because even when I'm talking, sometimes I'm still listening to myself. Mm-hmm. Like to me, and no matter, we were talking about this last night, my friends and I, no matter how good someone is, okay, let me take this back. No matter how good people perceive someone being, that individual never sees themselves as good as other people see them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching an interview with Jerry Seinfeld and Eddie Murphy, and they were talking about Jerry Seinfeld was like, Eddie, I thought you were the most confident comedian ever. And Eddie said the same thing to Jerry. I thought you were the most confident. And both of them, come to find out, they both weren't confident. They both feared bombing, not doing good. And they didn't know that about each other. And then Eddie said, man, I went to go see Prince. And I thought Prince was the most confident dude. And afterwards, I said, man, when you played the piano, you did good. He said, Prince was like, hey, man, I was off key. I didn't do this. So Prince was up there judging himself as he was playing. But if you ask everyone else, they thought it was probably the best show they ever seen in their life. So it's like we're always studying ourselves and we're always finding ways to improve. So just know that whatever you do, other people will see you great, but in your eyes, you never see yourself as good as other people see. You know, so
that is true. That is absolutely true. That we continue to drive, and to that point though, you need to have balance on it, because at some point you're so critical that you'll stifle yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you listen to all the hype. Oh, I'm dope, and you stop working, and you're so critical that you stop working. So you gotta kind of find a happy medium of listen to the people for the encouragement and to keep your tank filled, the emotional tank filled, and the other one that says this joint is empty, I need to work a little harder. That one right there will keep the journey flowing. So I appreciate you saying that. That was very well stated. I love it. Yeah. All right, cool. We're wrapping it down. I appreciate the Dixon brothers coming on to chat about what they're talking about. And like I said, the mic is open for you anytime. When you get to DC, hit me up. I would love to come hang out with y'all. And we'll do the next step thing. If you get to town, we'll put you on the Facebook Live and we'll talk it up some more.
Okay. So, and when I come in town, make sure don't hit me with the Hollywood BS. Like, hey man, come in town. As soon as I hit you, I don't hear from you. So,
well, you better. If it's not on my schedule, it's not on my schedule that you hear. So just make sure you're on my schedule, because that'll happen. I'll be like, oh, dude. Man, but anyway, go ahead.
Hey, G, just real quick. It's funny you say that too, because I was literally just watching before we started having this conversation. I was literally just watching the episode of Martin when he went out to L.A. to see Tommy Davidson. Yeah. I was literally just watching that. So, but that's how Mark gonna do you, man. You're gonna come out here. He's gonna do you like Tommy did Martin.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Cool. All right, everybody. Hey, thank you for joining in to Off the Bench, Mark Wiggins. It's been my pleasure. Make sure you do whatever you can daily to stay off the bench. And remember, if you can reach your dreams with a step ladder, then they're probably too low. I'm out.
Thank you for listening to Off the Bench with your coach, Mark Wiggins. Be sure to like, comment, and share this podcast. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at SpeakerMan87. And be sure to use the hashtag #GetOffTheBench to let Mark know you're listening. When it comes to success, only you can give yourself the permission you need to have the success you desire. Now get off the bench and get in the game.